What's up, guys? Day 20 of the video blog here. I'm pretty excited today because I get to say that I surpassed my goal for yesterday. I hit 7,500 VPPs, which is the goal I set to moving forward after I looked at my progress in day 18 and assessed where I was. And I didn't quite get it the first day, but I got it yesterday, and if I can do it, then there's no reason I can't do it every day. Should just get easier as I get more used to hitting that goal and playing that often. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited to be doing what I set out to do. What I wanted to talk about today is dealing with upswings. I don't really like the word upswing because I don't really think upswings and downswings are necessarily real things. It's kind of just, that's gambler's fallacy. Every day that you play is a brand new occurrence. It's like a roulette wheel. You go up there, it's just been red 7 times. Doesn't mean it's any more likely to be red or black the next roll. So, I mean, upswings and downswings technically don't exist, but they sure feel like they do when, you're having sustained positive or negative variance. And I think a lot of people talk about how to deal with downswings. I mean, if you Google dealing with downswings in poker, I'm sure there's infinite articles, people willing to coach you, and when you're on a downswing, people come out of the woodwork and they say, I'll stake you, I can help you, people. I feel like I have a really good support system in poker. I was offered a stake a lot this year when I had a rough patch. I didn't take any of them, but that's fine. I still really appreciated the offers, and it's a boost to my confidence to know that other people believe in me and would invest in me. My family, my friends, people remind me of what I've accomplished, and it's hard, but it's not like there's no one there for you when you have a downswing or when you're losing. But when things go well, everyone kind of thinks that you're fine. You don't need any help. And I guess maybe you should be. I mean, lucky you, your life's going well. But I think that dealing with positive variance is harder, or at least as hard, but possibly harder than dealing with things going badly. Because you don't even realize it's an issue. So a lot of times when people win a lot, their process that got them to the success that they have, it goes out the window. And this isn't just a poker thing, this is a life thing. If you're playing a sport and you work really hard to get good, and then you win something, a lot of people, like especially you see this in boxing and UFC, now they're a big shot, they're a big deal, and their training, their work ethic, that hunger and desire goes away, and their process gets worse, and then they falter. I wrote about this in my in an article I wrote on my blog last year called "Living in Alignment with Your Values." And what's really frustrating about this is I understood this concept to a degree, and I was still affected by it. I wrote about it right after I had a really successful month in poker, I think a 60K month in June and of 2012. And then I wrote about how in my life I feel that success has always followed kind of a pattern. I start out at the bottom, and I really believe I can do something, and maybe only a few people agree with me. And I work really, really hard, and then I start getting some success, and people start, saying, hey, wow, you really can do this, you're doing well. But I still know that I can do a lot better. And that stays like that for a while usually. But at some point, I'll have success that's beyond what I had really envisioned for myself. Maybe I didn't dream big enough, I don't know. But I'll have some success where I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool. And then other people's ideas, when they start saying you're doing really well, all this stuff starts to get in my head, and I start kind of drinking my own Kool-Aid and believing, wow, I am really good. And that right there that's the problem. The moment that you go from I want to, not so much wanting, but I'm on this path, I'm building in this direction, I'm getting better at this skill, to I can do this, I know how. You've reached a destination, and it's just the signal for the beginning of the end. It's really, really important, monumentally important, to understand that in life, I mean, this is such a cliche, but most cliches are true. It's a journey and not a destination. Don't try to get somewhere. We have this notion that we work really hard, and then in the future, life's sweet. Eckhart Tolle talks about this in The Power of Now. It's it's a pretty big concept in philosophy that that's not a good way to live. You don't want to live your life in the future. You don't want to sacrifice your present for your future because, I mean, you're never going to live in the future. You're only ever going to live in the present. So if your daily practice is not enjoying your life so that one day you will, well, you're going to not enjoy your life your whole life so that one day you will, but that one day never comes because every day you're saving for a future day. And it just doesn't work. And I think what happens is that we forget that we need to embrace the process. A lot of people talk about embrace the grind, you know? And they're right. And maybe grind isn't the best word because it has kind of a negative connotation. It's hard to say I'm grinding and I love it. But, you got to embrace your process and understand that just because you had success, it doesn't mean that you should throw your process out the window. It means quite the opposite. And you see this a lot, especially with poker, but also, like I said, with athletes. I mean, you get all this success, and it's not really your fault. I mean, it is your fault, but I empathize, and I've been through it, and I'm still dealing with it all the time, and I still will deal with it all the time in my life. But what do you do when that hunger is gone? That drive that got you there just isn't the same, that motivation. And I don't really have the best answer, honestly. I think it's something I could think about a lot and come up with some ideas, some things that might help. But it's a major issue, and it affects all aspects of life. It's really difficult when you don't have that motivation to work the same way you did in the past. I think one thing could be having, dream bigger, know what's next. If you have a bunch of success in poker and you made a bunch of money, know what you want to do next. What do you want to do with that money? Where are you trying to invest it? Where's your life trying to go? Or what do you want to do when maybe you don't have to work so hard and you can take some time off? What things in life are you passionate about? Where do you want to travel to? What do you want to see? What do you want to do? You got to have those ideas because if you've got an idle mind, you're not really awake. You're just like, oh, I have all this money and you don't know what to do with it. And you're kind of just like running around with a chicken with your head cut off. You don't really know what you're doing. I think it's really good to maybe take some time and have a direction and be grateful for where you are and understand that especially with poker, your results aren't always indicative of your ability. So it could be that for a long time, your ability was steadily increasing, but your results were far behind. And then, boom, it seems like it takes off and your results are way ahead of your ability now, or at least a little bit ahead. And if anything, you should keep working just as hard, if not harder, to kind of catch up with where your results are. Because now maybe you're playing higher stakes and maybe your edge isn't as big because you were playing lower stakes, you started crushing, and now you start moving up and moving up and moving up. But, if you're moving up, you should work harder and get better and improve more than you were before. And I feel like some people, maybe myself included, have improved less as they moved up because they just got that, oh, I'm the best. And once you think you think, oh, I just am good, I don't need to work anymore. I mean, you're getting worse by the day. So it's really tough. I think dealing with winning is arguably as harder than dealing with losing, especially because no one talks about it. One thing I'll share that I think helps me, whether I'm winning or losing, is being grateful in life. I got this from Tim Ferriss. It's just a little trick. Tim Ferriss, the guy who wrote 4-Hour Workweek and 4-Hour Body and all those books. He was on a podcast and he said in the mornings he drinks a glass of water to rehydrate and tries to think about what things in life he's grateful for. I think it's a really awesome best practice because it sets the tone for your day that you're happy to be alive and you're grateful for what you have. And being grateful is a really good way to keep yourself humble. And keeping yourself humble is a really good way to kind of avoid getting a big head when you have success and keep your process intact, which is kind of what the whole video today is about. So if you can remember some things in your life that you're thankful for, then I think that can go a long way to keeping you mindful of how you got to where you are and how you can keep progressing and not let it all go to your head. Because honestly, it's really hard sometimes not to let success go to your head. And if you want to have the greatest amount of success overall, we got to work on it. So yeah, that's today's video. I got some playing to do, but I'd love to hear in the comments section some things that you guys are grateful for. So I'll give a $5 free roll to the first 3 comments I get of what people are grateful for on PokerStars. Well, not what you're grateful on PokerStars, but what you're grateful for, I'll send on PokerStars. All right, thanks guys for watching. Day 20.